A math teacher walked into a poker game against some of the biggest names in the world and left with $129,600. He bluffed at the right moments, folded hands that would have sunk most players, and even took down Phil Hellmuth in a showdown that had the whole table stunned. It was the kind of performance that turned an ordinary seat into a legendary story. But the question is, how did he pull it off when so many others failed? Well, let's uncover it all. Meet David Fishman. David Fishman didn't come from the world of million-dollar buy-ins or sponsorship deals. He was a math teacher. By day, he worked with numbers and students in a classroom. By night, he found himself sitting across from some of the sharpest poker minds in the game. His ticket into this moment was the loose cannon seat, a spot reserved for amateurs who wanted a shot at testing themselves on one of the biggest stages.
Yeehaw!
I'm all in.
Nadia is all in. That's an eye-opener for Justin.
Have a vote?
God, I'm so terrible.
Get us another loose cannon.
Nadia stays.
Cannon.
That should be a rule for all
That is
future
my name.
cannons.
Cannon's gonna straddle.
Attention.
Wow.
Yes.
My man. The cannon come out
I
fire.
mean, let's go ahead and get it in, fellas. I mean, let's,
The loose cannon format was simple but brutal. Each amateur was staked $100,000 to play 150 hands against the pros. At the end, they kept anything above that starting stack. If they finished below it, they went home with nothing. That meant every decision was magnified. For the professionals, a bad call was just another swing in a long career. For the loose cannon, it was the difference between a life-changing payday and walking away empty-handed. Many players who got the seat struggled under the pressure. Some played too tight and missed their chance. Others went too far, trying to force a big score, only to lose it all. Fishman found this balance. He played smart, picking his spots and leaned on patience when it mattered most. The format was designed to test an amateur's nerve, and Fishman passed with flying colors. Across the table sat legends who had made fortunes out of high-stakes games. Phil Locke, famous for his eccentric style and unpredictable moves. David Williams, known for his deep runs in massive tournaments. Bill Perkins, a businessman with the bankroll and confidence to play any hand he wanted. And of course, Phil Hellmuth, the poker brat himself, a 15-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner and one of the most intimidating presences in the game. For any newcomer, sitting across from these names would feel overwhelming. Fishman, though, carried himself differently. He wasn't chasing every pot, nor was he shrinking under the lights. He played steady, methodical, the same way he might work through a math problem in class. Calm, precise, and willing to let the numbers guide him. The likes of Hellmuth were unable to believe who he was really up against. It was almost unthinkable that an amateur, not just any amateur, but a teacher, was holding his own against the pros with decades of experience and endless bankrolls. For the commentators, it added to the drama, a David stepping into a ring full of Goliaths.
Screaming will do you a lot of good.
But David Fishman just took a big step forward towards claiming that NAPT passport and now leads Nadia Magnus by more than 76 grand.
Can we have Jason Mercier in the green room?
The truth is, that's exactly what made Fishman so fascinating. He didn't have the safety net that many pros relied on. Every chip on the table meant something to him. Every decision carried real weight. For the pros, a bad night was a dent in their bankroll. And even in those early hands, Fishman showed he belonged. He didn't panic when pots grew large. He didn't flinch when the pros tried to bully him out of hands. He trusted himself, trusted his reads, and proved he wasn't there to be a background character. He was building momentum slowly. Soon, he delivered the kind of hand that made everyone at the table realize this math teacher wasn't going to fade quietly. You see, every player who takes the loose cannon seat needs a hand that makes people sit up and pay attention. For David Fishman, that moment came early, and it didn't come from simply catching the right cards. It came from him having the nerve to bluff his way through one of the toughest spots of the night. The hand started out quiet, nothing flashy. The pros at the table had already seen countless amateurs fold under pressure or tighten up to the point where their play became predictable. Fishman had a different approach. He picked his spot and turned it into a statement.
Looks like he wants to play.
I don't like your outlook right now.
Williams calls. Locke calls.
So the damage that I had,
Joe's in.
dislocated elbow, shattered wrist, trigeminal nerve damage right here, 35 stitches around my eye, and actually I'm getting surgery. I check my
Phil checks to Joe, who checks.
the orbital plate that's holding my eyeball in is kind of like broken, and some of the fat from my eye is sinking down, so they have to put a plate in. Call.
Do you have insurance? Health insurance?
It's really amazing. I let my insurance dry up, and I've just been paying cash out of pocket, and I'm surprised it doesn't hurt. The bills are not like, it's not super sick, you know?
Meanwhile, the loose cannon David Fishman has semi-bluffed the flop.
32.
And fires again.
I'm like a pretty bad 6 things happened to me, broken rib and lots of, I don't know, I've just been paying out of pocket. It's not that bad.
If Locke thought his 9 was good enough to call on the flop,
3,200.
then not much has changed here.
He calls again.
Captain.
The flop came down, and instead of checking and playing it safe, Fishman decided to fire. The pros called. The turn didn't change much. Once again, he put chips into the middle. By now, the pot was growing, and the pressure was on. Any hesitation, any sign of weakness, the pros would have pounced.
He calls again.
Captain calling the calling station. Hailing all frequencies.
Ace of hearts on the river. Locke checks.
Let's see if David can fire the third photon torpedo or checks his way into the escape shuttle.
Then came the river, another blank card. For most amateurs, that's the moment where the hand is over. Shut it down, save your chips, and move on. Fishman went the other way. He reached for chips and fired the third barrel, completing the bluff. This was a move that required absolute commitment, the kind of play that either sends a stack sliding your way or exposes you in front of the entire table. The commentators captured it perfectly when the hand ended.
Fishman takes down the pot.
If that was a bluff, sir, that was a bold bluff, because I did not.
That single line showed just how much respect he earned in that moment. It wasn't a blind gamble, but a calculated play where he forced a pro to fold the winning hand. For the table, it was the first sign that Fishman wasn't going to be pushed around. For the audience, it was the kind of moment that turned an unknown math teacher into someone who could actually outthink the professionals. Confidence at the poker table doesn't just come from winning big pots with strong hands. It comes from proving that you can pull the trigger when the moment calls for it. Fishman had done exactly that. That first statement-making bluff set the tone, and from then on, the spotlight stayed on him. The question was whether he could keep proving himself against the game's most seasoned names. Once Fishman settled into his seat, the real test began. He wasn't just playing small pots anymore. He was clashing with some of the sharpest players in the game. Phil Leake, David Williams, and Bill Perkins each tried to lean on him, using experience and aggression to push the newcomer around. Lack's personality filled the table, and the commentary reflected it with lines that sounded more like a science fiction broadcast than a poker hand. It was entertaining, but beneath the humor was a serious test. Fishman wasn't folding under pressure. He kept calling, betting, and firing back when the timing felt right. He wasn't afraid to make decisions against people who made a career out of punishing amateurs. Then came another moment that showed just how much he trusted himself. Facing bets and raises, he didn't back down. He read the situation, stuck to his logic, and when the cards were tabled, the commentary revealed the truth.
I check.
He checks. Shows the cannon
Check.
and shows. Let's see what Locke's got. He was bluffing.
Wow, he raised us on the flop with air. You can't push us around.
The cannon picks up a pot of nearly 40 grand.
That summed it up. One of the pros tried to muscle him with nothing. Fishman didn't blink. He made the call, dragged the pot, and suddenly the math teacher was stacking chips worth more than a year's salary. For the audience, this was the moment the story shifted. Fishman was standing tall against legends. Each hand built more confidence, and each pot proved that he wasn't out of place. And then came the ultimate test. The Hellmuth hand. If there was one hand that defined David Fishman's run, it was the one against Phil Hellmuth. The poker brat is famous for his tantrums, his theatrics, and his ability to put opponents in the toughest spots possible. Facing him is never easy, especially when the pot starts to grow. This hand built tension from the start. Fishman kept up with the betting, refusing to be pushed off. Hellmuth, true to form, started talking his way through the hand. The table and the audience could feel the pressure mounting as Phil put on a show.
Clearly, he's going to raise. The only question is how much, and can he get Phil to call?
I'm not gonna let you do this to me again, Phil. I can't let you do this to me again.
Leonardo DiCaprio could not be selling this any better.
While Helmuth sold the drama, the commentators couldn't resist chiming in, pointing out just how over the top it all was. Then came the river, and with it, Fishman's moment. The card gave him the straight, and suddenly the math teacher had turned the tables on one of the most decorated pros in history.
All right, I call.
Helmuth calls and sees king, queen of clubs.
Bingo! See, if a club comes, I don't lose one nickel in the sand.
What a pot for Fishman.
I mean,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
can I even play in this game? I mean, what the they find? I mean, what the?
That was a great read, by the way. You had him.
You're a real classy guy, buddy.
The reaction said it all. Fishman hadn't just won a big hand. He had outplayed Phil Hellmuth under the lights. It was the kind of hand that every loose cannon dreams of, a hand that proves they can hang with the very best. For Hellmuth, it was another chapter in his long history of blow-ups. For Fishman, it was a breakthrough. From this point forward, he was a serious contender with the confidence to take on anyone at the table. But big wins only tell half the story. What really separates great players from the rest is knowing when to step back, and Fishman proved that too, in a moment that shocked everyone watching. You see, pocket aces are every poker player's dream. The odds of being dealt them are slim, and when they hit, the natural instinct is to play them hard. Most players can't let them go. For David Fishman, though, discipline turned out to be the key to survival. In one of the most talked about moments of his run, Fishman looked down at aces. Across the table, Phil Locke picked up a hand that would crush almost anyone, pocket sixes that turned into quads on the flop. If Fishman had played his aces aggressively, he would have been drawing dead and watching his stack disappear. The commentators couldn't believe what unfolded.
Throws him away.
What?
2 to the flop, 6 king, 6 quads for Locke.
I can't believe it, Vance. David Fishman folds aces, would have been outflopped by quads. If this happened in a movie, I would say it's too unrealistic.
And yet that's exactly what happened. Fishman folded. He let go of the hand that so many amateurs, and even some pros, would have gone broke with. His ability to step away from danger showed the kind of discipline that set him apart. Later, he revealed that folding wasn't about being timid, rather understanding the bigger picture. Every chip mattered, and he knew that protecting his stack was more valuable than clinging to a hand that no longer felt right. Moments like these prove that it's about knowing when to let go. Fishman trusted his instincts and his numbers, and in doing so, he avoided a disaster that could have ended his entire run. That kind of discipline kept him alive, and it set the stage for the payoff that made this entire journey unforgettable. The life-changing win. By the time the dust settled, David Fishman had done what few loose cannons ever managed. Hand after hand, he stayed disciplined. He picked his spots, avoided disasters, and even found ways to turn the pros' aggression against them. When the final count was made, the number staring back at him was life-altering. $129,600 in profit. That figure alone was more than triple his yearly salary as a teacher. For most of the professionals at the table, it was another night's work. For Fishman, it was security, stability, and a payoff that would echo beyond the poker felt. The most powerful moment of the night came not at the table, but after it was all over. Fishman reached for his phone and shared the news with the people who mattered most.
Hey, babe.
Yes.
You sitting down?
Now, what did you win?
$129,600.
Oh, my God. You gotta keep all that money.
I know. I wish you were here right now, baby. I want to give you a big hug. I'm coming home to you and the kids. I love you.
I love you, too.
Bye.
Bye.
The phone call said more than any celebration ever could. You could hear the weight lift in his voice, the joy of knowing all the pressure and risk had paid off. For him, those chips were college tuition, mortgage payments, and a chance to give his family more than they had before. Moments like this are rare in poker. The loose cannon seat was designed to give amateurs their shot, but few ever walk away winners, and even fewer with a story like this. Fishman didn't just survive the pros. He turned a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity into a life-changing win, and he did it in front of the entire poker world. And that's it. Now to you. If you had poker aces in Fishman's spot, would you have folded or gone all in and risked everything? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.